when I left Raleigh, it seems that people just quit protecting this area. I don't know why. I don't know any other way to put it. I've tried to come up with some nice way to say that, but people just quit protecting this area. After 95, there was very little done from the legislators in this area, and in fact, it looks like the toll roads have come about simply because of the legislators we sent to Raleigh in this area who said, hey, give us the toll roads.
Why do you think that so many legislators from around this area were so gung-ho about these toll roads when there's so many citizens that have been upset about them?
Well, you open up a whole can of worms and talking about how politics works. We've got a lot of young, inexperienced legislators down there. And I can tell you, when I went down in 2013, the first thing I was told was, hey, take the toll roads and we're going to do all this other stuff for you. Well, if you're in politics very long, you'll soon learn you better get yours first.
Yeah.
And I started looking at how roads are getting paved. I-77, you talk about taking politics out of paving or transportation, I-77 has one of the highest car counts per day, which would give it the highest priority under any standard of measurement that has any semblance to fairness and taking politics out of it at all. Yet I-77, 92,000 cars a day. Look at I-77 and go over and look at the stretch going up I-85 through Cabarrus and Rowan County. They got 72,000 cars per day. And how wide are their lanes?
Oh yeah, they're beautiful out there.
4 and 5 lanes. I-77 is still on 2 lanes with 92,000 cars a day, and the only way they've got money for this non-political paving is toll roads. That's just crazy.
You tried to get some action taken up there in Raleigh to either delay or to widen I-77 in a different way other than toll roads. What was the pushback that you faced?
Depends on what you call pushback. In my discussions with the Speaker of the House, he became upset and removed me from being chair of the Finance Committee, and told people, other legislators, not to consider my bills. Every bill that I'd introduced suddenly just disappeared. And I've been in Raleigh, made 20 years. I know how things work in Raleigh. Anybody can say what they want to. The word came down from the Speaker of the House, plus I had people tell me, well, I was told to do this. He even had made and I say made, the majority leader was Edgar Starnes. Had Edgar Starnes write a letter into my district during a campaign saying I was going to be kicked out of the caucus because I couldn't get along with the Speaker. I get along with the Speaker. He was the one who had the problem. He couldn't stand anybody that didn't agree with him and say yes. But as I say, I went and talked to him privately. And when I brought up the toll road issue, he yelled at me, said, that's it, I do not want you in my finance chair. Turn in your resignation in 15 minutes when we have session. And I said, well, I've been writing up these issues and I can have it ready. He said, I want it turned in. I went and got it. I took it to hand it to him. He motioned no. He didn't even want to read it. Give it to the principal clerk. Had the principal clerk read it, and the rest is history. It didn't make things look very well.
The plan to toll I-95, that was shut down by the Trucking Association. You had mentioned on the floor that it was shortly thereafter that we started talking about I-77. That seemed to be something that might have upset the Speaker. Do you recall what chain of events took place there?
Well, the specific event was In 2011, I believe it was, 2010 or 2011, he's on film telling the Truckers Association, I do not want any roads, any, what do you call them? Any routes in North Carolina tolled. Or something to that effect. He didn't want, and anyway, the indication was, I don't want any tolls in North Carolina. Talking to the Truckers Association. And to now be supporting tolling I-77 is a contradiction. Was a contradiction. It still is a contradiction.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. He never offered to explain to me why the change, what took place, or anything else.
What has been the reaction of your constituents? And do you, well, first of all, do you think that what Mr. Tillis did to you with having Edgar Starnes write that letter, did that have an effect on your last campaign? And what have your constituents told you since then? Have they encouraged you to run? And what have been their feelings about the tolls?
Well, in that campaign, that letter indicated I couldn't get along with people. But I've been getting along with people all my life. I was president of the National Republican Legislators Association. I was actually elected Legislator of the Year nationally by the Republican Legislators Association one year. I got all kinds of awards when I was in during the 18 years before that. From 1980 to 1998, I'd done all kinds of things, but the people that have moved into the district, they really don't know about all those things. All they had was this letter that was forced to be written about me not being able to get along with the speaker. So the votes that turned out, well, they didn't really get people to vote against me. The only thing they got was to keep people from voting, because they knew that was the only way they could win. In the prior election, with 3 of us running, I got almost 9,000 votes. In this election, with 2 of us running, there was only 5,000 votes cast in our race. Because of bankruptcies and ban from the state of Texas, bankruptcies in Indiana, cost them $100 million. They hadn't been able to get the money. Add to that the news that's going on right now. Within the last 2 weeks, I believe it is, in Barcelona, Spain, the CEO of Cintra, or Fuel Corporation, which owns Cintra, was convicted of corruption and bribery in the largest transportation corruption case in Spain ever. And that's, to me, that's reason to say, hey, hold on a minute, let's see if we really want to do business with these people. There are other ways to do it.
Evacuation route for the nuclear power plant. Do you think that adds another level of absurdity that this road has not been widened in the past 25 years?
I think it shows a lack of attention to the needs of transportation needs in this area. Absolutely, 100%.
Is there anything else that you would like to add about maybe where you see things going? Has there been much of a change, even at the local levels? I know that Iredell, your county, has passed a resolution against the tolls.
Well, with the local public sentiment having changed pretty much right down I-77 to, hey, let's hold on and wait a minute. I just hope the governor and DOT and the leadership in the General Assembly recognize, guys, we need to stop and look at this thing. We're dealing with a company that's filed bankruptcy and cost everybody else money. We're dealing with a company that's the chief executive officer has been convicted of bribery and corruption in the largest corruption scheme in the history of Spain. We're dealing with a company that has a horrible, dismal track record. And not only did we give them a contract to build the toll roads, but we're giving them a contract where they design it, they tell us what we need, They tell us what it costs, and then we're going to pay them to management and guarantee them a profit. It adds up to failure down the road.
New light shined on this contract, saying that for the 50-year duration of this contract, that there will be no widening of the, I guess what you would call the local.
What you're talking about, it's not only no widening, you can't improve any alternative routes that might take traffic off of I-77 without paying Cintra for the lost traffic.
And why is that?
Because it's in the contract. That's why it is. That's because everything is being done to protect Cintra, again, a bankrupt, corrupt company that is coming in here and sucking our taxpayers' money out of this. And something else we hadn't talked about, according to the figures, over the 50-year period, Cintra will receive $13 billion. Now, $13 billion is a lot of money. And when you think about it, that's $13 billion that'll be sucked out of this corridor along I-77 to Spain. It's not even $13 billion that's being circulated in our economy. Because if it was, you could argue, well, at least the economists argue, every dollar you spend turns over 6 times, so 6 times a dollar is $6 for every dollar you spend circulating in the economy. What's 6 times $13 billion? $78 billion that we lose the use of in our economy.
Unbelievable. Thank you so much, Robert. I appreciate it.